Good morning. So for today's work review, I'm going to do the reading comprehension check 8. And the title is called, What Are the Armed Forces? And so you can read along with me or check your work if you've already completed this assignment and send me a picture and let me know how you did or if you have any questions when we're all done. So I will read and you can follow along. Every year, Americans celebrate Armed Forces Day. It is the third Saturday in May. The day honors those actively serving in the armed forces. But what are the armed forces? They are the 5 branches of the U.S. military. The Air Force. This branch serves in the sky and space. It uses airplanes and helicopters. It is also in charge of satellites. The Army. The soldiers of the Army are the military force on land. This is the largest and oldest fighting. I skipped a word, see that? This is America's largest and oldest fighting force. Coast Guard. This branch works on waterways inside the United States. It enforces laws and performs rescues. The Marine Corps. The Marines serve on land and sea. They are a quick responding and highly trained force. The Navy. The Navy serves on oceans and seas around the world. It keeps the water safe for travel and trade. The Navy also operates on land and in the air. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different armed forces that we learned about, or not armed forces, the 5 different branches of the U.S. military. So then we'll go over here and answer our questions. Number 1 says, which branch of the armed forces helps save boaters in the U.S.? So that is going to be what we need to look at. So if it says boaters, right here, we know it has to do with the water. And if I remember correctly, and I go back and look, there was 2 that had to do with water. And so when I look, the Marine Corps the Coast Guard, actually there was 3 different ones, that had to do with the water. So the Coast Guard, the Marine Corps, and the Navy. Okay, so there was one that specifically said in the U.S. Okay, so if I go back and I look for the one that says in the U.S., the Coast Guard, this branch works on waterways inside the United States. Okay, so that is an important one. This one, the Marines were land and sea, which the sea is considered water as well, but they didn't specifically say just inside the United States. And the Navy right here says oceans and seas, which would include boaters, but it was around the world. So the one specifically for inside the United States was the Coast Guard. So that would be B. So you would circle B for that answer. How are the Air Force and the Navy similar? How are they different? So we're going to go up here, we're going to look back, we're going to compare just the Air Force and the Navy. Okay, and we have to look how they are similar. So this branch serves the sky and space. Okay, uses airplanes. If I look down here, the Navy serves oceans and seas around the world. The Navy also operates on land and air. So they are similar because they both operate in the air. Okay. And I don't have enough room here to write my sentence out. I would normally put the Air Force and Navy are similar because, and then put that they both operate in the air. However, I don't have enough room on here for that. You could always turn it and write it on the back if you wanted to, but for this purpose, I'm just going to write they both operate in the air. Okay. And then how are they different? So the one way that they're different, the Navy said it serves the oceans and the seas, and the Air Force did not serve the ocean or the seas. So I'm going to put they're different, or I'm really I won't have enough room. I'll say the Navy serves the ocean as well. Where the Air Force does not serve the ocean. Number 3. What does the author want readers to know, think, or do after reading this text? So if I think about what the author you told me in the story, or what they were just telling me about the different branches of armed forces in the U.S. military. So what does the author want the reader to do or think after reading the text? The author just wants us to inform us of the different branches of the U.S. military. So that's what I'm going to put, to inform us. So we have information and we know the difference between where they serve. So to inform us about the 5, I might run out of some room here, branches of the U.S. military. Okay. And then it says, how are the subheadings identified in the text and how are they used? So we know this is the title right here. This is what the whole passage about. We have subheadings, which are these bold kind of mini titles. So if we look at them, they're bold, and that's how they're identified. But what they're used for is to show us that this little section is just about the Air Force. This section is just about the Army. This section is about the Coast Guard. So it breaks up the information for us, and it's easily, if we can find it, we can go back and reference and know that that's the information about each section. So the subheadings are bold. And they separate the information for us. And they organize it for us. Oops, sorry, I couldn't see that last part. So there you have our little reading comprehension check for today. Check your work, or do it along with the video, or you can do it on your own and then go back and watch the video to check it. So good job today, and if you have questions, let me know.